Or they're running fairly Stacy.
It's a workout,
There you go.
my summer workout.
It's being recorded, Susie.
So I guess I should talk about my workout.
There he is. I thought you might be zooming this morning. Yeah, got here at 14 and a half, I guess. There.
I'm gonna talk to you about lunch over that. Do you want to time it up for this meeting? Okay.
Webster Groves. Call this meeting to order. First bit of business. Approval of April minutes. Entertaining motion.
I second.
All approved. Any comments? Comments? Those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome our visitors today. We've got a couple of visitors.
Yes, Sergeant.
We're not really a visitor.
But you're new to the group now.
No, I've been here.
Okay, I missed the last time.
So I am gonna go now though, because I usually go to the end, but I'm training a new guy. This is Alex. He's fresh out of the academy.
Maybe Alex.
So I know I explained this to you guys at the trade association, but for those who weren't there, as you know, Officer Sewell is no longer with us. So we don't currently do not have a business liaison. So if you guys are in need of anything, please reach out to me. I was actually a supervisor anyway, so I was kept aware of all the updates and everything like that. So yeah, just reach out to me if you guys need anything on the business front. Does anybody have any parking concerns, traffic concerns, business
Are you serious?
concerns? What? Me right now.
Well, okay.
Will there be patrols of the parking, replacing Officer Russell?
He will be replaced eventually when we've just started 5 new officers. Next week will be the 5th officer. So once we get everybody up and trained, we'll get some positions filled.
Go back to the same schedule that Officer Russell had.
Did you lose a bunch of officers?
Yes, we're short right now. So we're hiring, like I said, next week will be hire number 5 in 6 weeks. So we just gotta get everybody up and trained and everything like that. But so if you guys do have any parking issues, call dispatch, give them a call and they'll set an officer up. But as far as the personal touch with Officer Sewell and your businesses and everything, please reach out to me. All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna go finish training then. We have a very limited schedule, so.
Good luck, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome to Webster. Yes,
All right, take care.
Thanks.
hi.
Moving on to our old business rooftop lighting update. Is it, I guess we don't have Eric, is Eric no longer participating?
No, Eric is participating. We have not done the transition yet, and I don't know. I texted him.
Okay.
I'm Nate Tyler.
I'm Dave. Good to meet you. All right, welcome. So you're a new city liaison person?
You'll be replacing Eric eventually?
Eventually,
Uh-huh.
no.
Not today.
Today is not the day.
Today.
What about our rooftop lighting?
I think you could refer to last month's minutes. Let's read last month's minute.
Go the month before that too.
And
So I apologize. So my name is Ron Clip. I'm with the Hub Bicycle Company.
yeah, we do a quick,
Yeah.
why don't we do a quick runaround? So Flip,
Yeah, with the Hub Bicycle Company down the street.
I'm Dan, with
Lots of places.
real estate in the area.
Really? Okay.
David Smith, I have a CPA firm down the street.
Frank Romano with Parkmore Drive-In, in the same building that Dave's in.
Oh, I breakfast there.
Oh, awesome. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And we have Madrina Restaurant on the corner.
Okay.
I'm Stacy Swiderska with Paisley Boutique on the street.
Oh,
Clothing store.
no, I've been there. I've met you before.
Oh, good.
I met you, yes, yes.
It's about a 1-minute walk.
Yeah, one Sunday I was in there.
Oh, good. Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Okay, Karen Drexler with Story 7.
Tim Delante with the mash pick by Zoe's Attic. First, let's get started.
Very good. Thank you. So,
And you know Fran.
Yes.
awesome.
And this is your last meeting, correct?
This will be.
Yeah.
Thank you for the chance to serve the city. My wife is retiring and we're gonna be traveling a little more and I didn't want any anchors on the calendar is the way I started.
So given Dan's resignation, I don't know, call what the process is, but start thinking about folks we can add to the commission here. Business owners, property owners in the area.
I approached the was it Twitch Studios down on West Cedar? Sketch. And asked if she would be interested, and she said not at this time, but you know, just if you think of people, you know.
Who did you talk to there? Julia?
It's, you know, the wife of the owner
Okay.
couple. I spoke to the wife.
Did you tell her we're not interested either, but
No,
not in her, but
No,
doing
I-
this, but we still do it.
no, I asked, I said she'd be perfect for it, especially to get involved in the area with her new ownership.
Right.
So, but at this time, she said their time wouldn't.
Okay, very good. So just keep that in mind. To revisit what the process is to get that on board. Decorative parking signs. Frank, Tim,
So
There's somewhere in the building, there was the parking sign that Erica brought in.
Mhm.
If anyone knows where that is, I need to take that to them.
it could be their.
It's in
office.
Dan's office.
I need to borrow that, to see how they can remove that. Maybe sandblast or chemical, the old stickers. If I can get that from Eric's possession, I can come by.
I can pick it.
Once we get that, then we can figure out how to remove the old stickers and.
Do we want to maybe reach out to one of our car places? Cause they will be able to do that.
Yeah, with that
I mean,
company that I use that does things like. that.
Yeah.
They make things go.
okay. Can we go back to rooftop after this?
anything else on signs, just moving along?
Yeah.
And before we roll back to rooftop lighting, I think it's the same story with the pedestrian signs as well.
Well, I got the design from Gene, and I think Stacy saw it and Frank saw it. I sent it to everybody, but I didn't hear back from anybody else. And I think that those signs, I think she did a great design.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I think my worry was that it would get too wordy,
Mhm,
because you want to do blue dot.
mhm,
Is that the name of the thing you're working on, blue dot?
mhm, mhm.
I think it's simpler just to have dates and the event and maybe a QR code.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't think like description.
No, I would
Right.
just have like just the name and then the QR code. that would
Yes.
take
Yeah,
you to
and the
more-
date,
for
if
more
it's the
information.
third Wednesday, third Saturday in June, and
Right.
third Saturday in September.
Yeah.
Just to give an idea what time of year it falls, or the recurring ones that are every 3 months, the ladies' night out.
Mhm.
Just a way to inform people who are here maybe outside of those events that we do these things.
And I think part of pushing the blue dot is like, it's like. All your people you want clicks,
Mhm.
so you want the traffic to go to blue dot, so I think the teaser headliner. And then the QR code to get people to go to blue dot for more information.
I was thinking, so the whole bar, you don't have to do those little things, right? It can just be one.
No, well, I thought it would be more interesting if we kept those, because that's the way the sign is designed. I don't know if they could buy an insert that would be a full size.
I think that you can choose what size you want. I think the only reason we chose those like this size is
Mhm.
because we had so many businesses
Right.
that we wanted to get on there. It might be easier on the eye if it's just one.
But if you're having 4 different events, it's kind of nice to separate, or 5. That way they don't, I think clean is important there, because I think the more you put on there, the less people are gonna,
Yeah,
they're gonna feel they're being sold something. It's really just for the.
And I think we should switch them out.
oh, be able to switch them
and
out.
that-
So
that way
like
you-
when we have Walktoberfest is coming up, put that in as we get towards the fall.
It's so horrible to switch it out. I wish we could hear Joe talking right now, but I'm pretty positive that we have talked about in the past, that it's not something we can go around and do every couple months. I think it's something we do. Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
know what you're talking about. Like, let's just take the street dance for an example. I think Joe and Dan are stepping away from that, I understand. And so it's gonna take some people to step up and do that again. And
Dave's
we
the
put-
lead.
Yeah, I know, but maybe 1 year and then I'll say, forget this. I don't know. I'm just
So he
saying.
had fun. He had a great time.
Because I had two people running the whole thing.
But what my point is we have one big sign and the street dance doesn't happen anymore. That one big sign is no good,
But that's true.
you know, so I mean, by having, I mean, you're just having the flexibility of being able to change something or do something.
Even if it's not date specific or anything, just.
Yeah.
This event, we're just gonna swap it.
Right.
But Gene did a great design that we can adjust and then apply to
Yes.
those. Maybe Tim can do the signage work on them, the decals or whatever.
I'd have to see what it is exactly, but I mean, probably.
The big thing for me, though, I would like to see the Explore Webster Groves with the QR code. I think is important to see on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it has everything on it.
Stepping with Dan, stepping away, will you be taking the lead on this?
I would have to step down from chair of Walktoberfest and Holiday Open House. I cannot be in charge of.
No, this is the sign.
I know I can't,
Oh,
I
okay.
can't. I have a business and little kid. Can't do
Get
it.
it.
I'll work on the sign.
Thanks.
I would love to say yes, but I
So
wish.
we'll just put Frank by every.
And I'll help you, Frank. I mean, get whatever I've done so far and make sure that you and Gene know you're talking.
So you can't leave until the sun's.
Okay.
I mean, you can still work on it for,
Progress of
you
this-
don't have to
of this
be at the
group.
table to work on the sign.
Yeah. It's a
Like,
like
yeah, it doesn't,
subcommittee.
yeah, he doesn't have to be on the board to,
I don't mind helping. Okay.
It'd be great, thank you.
thanks, Dan. That's amazing.
Appreciate it.
Dan, can you resend? I don't think I received anything, or Fran.
It was chat.
I didn't get it.
It was a text.
It was just a quick text. I might not send it to you, Fran. It was just the members just to give it feedback.
Karen says she didn't get it.
Yeah. I don't recall getting it.
I'll send it, Karen, to you.
Okay, thank you.
Or if somebody can pull it up, they can just say hi and then see who gets streamed right now. And then we'll really know who got it. and who didn't.
Yeah, maybe I missed it.
We'll maybe send it,
Probably early May.
What's your phone
April
number?
28th.
Yeah, I don't know if I have yours, Karen.
That might be.
I was thinking that.
April 28th.
I can look you up.
Let's see.
I'll text you. What's your number?
It was April 30th. 314-629-5264. Thank you.
Sure.
I love the idea of that, Dan, putting the amendments in it, though. I do like that.
Anything else on the signage? Circling back to rooftop lighting.
Yes, I need somebody to come out to a rooftop light. Like, we have very few lights that actually light up, so I've just kept them off because it looks like
Right. Well,
crap if we have them on.
we voted, and this was supposed to be in the works
Okay.
months and months ago to have all those replaced. Because
Yeah.
they're so short up there.
Yeah,
We've
that
had
was
Scribe
fine.
out there multiple times fixing it and never fixed it. And so we're gonna replace this whole strands, and then she just hasn't gotten it done. So,
Okay, is there a number that I can call about that? Because it's plugged into our building,
right, it's,
so it's,
it was kind of Eric who was kind of heading up all that, so.
So he has boxes of
Lights,
lights,
he has boxes of lights,
Yeah,
but I'm
but
not sure. I'm not sure if those are the lights for the air, because there's a string.
there's a
lights.
bunch.
There's, yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot, so I don't know,
oh, okay,
but I just made a note to.
Okay,
okay, thank you, okay. Hopefully I'll hear from him in the next, because once September comes, I'm done, like, I can't do anything for Paisley. Except work in it.
Okay. So. Good to hear from you. Right, very good. Anything else on lighting? So I apologize, I missed the last couple of meetings, but I know we were talking about the budget. At the end of the year, early in the spring. We had some budget challenges. Not only the revenue side, but the expense side as well. So there was discussion of business license surcharge and looking into that. Gonna piggyback off of maybe what was going on in the other districts. Has there been any further action or discussion on?
I don't think there
We're looking at
was, I think
revenue.
last time, I mean, you brought it up like for business surcharges for businesses like yourself, I believe, you know, that pay super minimum, whatever it is. But I don't think anything has been done since then. Somebody said, or Eric said it could be done. But I don't think anything's been done since that.
Has there been any action in any of the other commissions? Because I feel like they were a little farther.
I don't think
With
any,
the surcharge, no.
I don't think any of them even, I don't think, from my memory, I don't believe, I think it was just us. We were trying to look at ways to
Yeah.
generate more revenue, and we have quite a few professional businesses in our area. And I think that was just us heading that up. I don't think it was anybody
I think
else.
they were looking into like a special taxing district,
Yeah,
or transportation district.
CDI.
Yeah.
CDI.
CID.
CID, yeah.
But that's
That's
for,
different
That's-
than what we've-
that's for
the same
combining
thing, yeah.
all or.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not the same thing.
That's long down the road.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Has anyone renewed? I found the form online that was changed. I printed a check, brought it in, but then was told I'm supposed to pay online. I haven't looked in a couple of weeks, but I did just read that they were due June 30th. Usually it's April.
Yeah.
So any update on that?
Oh, okay, that I can't have.
All
Okay.
right.
So as you guys know, we're doing a transition from paper to
Yes.
software system, and it's been some delays and some glitches. So what is going to happen is we are sending out notices. With apologies, but notices to everyone. There will be no surcharges or anything like that. But you'll get something in the mail. So I don't know that you have to pay it online.
Where should I send it? Cause I physically brought it in.
The front desk told you
Yeah, said
pay online.
do it online. He said, well, there's no option to do that yet.
Sounds like they don't.
But you haven't sent the note.
Yeah, I still want
Yeah.
to, I mean, and then,
No, we haven't.
Karen, they
sent them
haven't even
out
sent
yet.
the
We
notifications.
haven't
out
sent
yet.
them out because what was happening, again, with the whole transitional thing. It was, unfortunately, we were being more reactive than proactive, so not realizing things had not gone out. So it's now going out, probably within the next week or so.
okay.
And you
So no, like I haven't received anything, and wasn't supposed to have received anything yet.
No late
Yeah.
fees.
All right.
No late fees.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, so, and probably whoever told you that you had to pay online may not have known. It's just
Okay.
a lot of growing angst.
Sure, I just didn't want to be late, and somewhere else I read said the June 30th deadline, and I thought. And that communication had already been sent out. So I just want to make sure I provided correct contact info. Okay, good. As long as we're not late.
No,
So as it relates to license fees, so I did. A month or two ago, I did present our budget to the. To the council, thank you. And just prior to that, I think it went out to everybody here, there was a modification to our revenue estimates.
Revenue came back.
Yeah, revenue came back.
A little bit. Not
A
100%.
little bit, so we were originally planning on about 25K of revenue from licenses. The 11th hour, Eric modified that to be at, or set our expectation to $40,000.
Good.
I didn't get any clear answer as to why, other than he feels that that's a more appropriate.
So can I interject there? What happened to the 15,000 from this year? I think this committee's task going forward is to identify what happened and how Eric feels now that he is able to put that back in to the expectations. Do you know if there was any audit done?
He did say there was an audit done before when we were all questioning it, it was audited, and this is what it came up as.
So
And that's why we were like,
how can you just put it back in
Mhm.
if the numbers are correct from the previous year?
So weird.
To me, there's something very unusual. there.
Yes.
And I wonder if it's part of the transition to the new software.
No, Stop, stop, this is serious.
Is that-
Like,
Is that software,
No.
change? Was it just,
The
is
same,
it happening now or is it?
It's happening now, but the notices are gonna go out this week. This is back to your original question.
you're
And
saying that the software will now generate an extra 15,000 because it's
Exactly.
better
Yeah,
at
it's
it?
taken.
I don't think so.
Dan, please don't leave.
I think.
I just
It's a
think
good
that
question.
that is a really important question. That's a lot of money that we need in our business district for our use that went away and now came back magically in the next budget.
Well, yeah, so basically, and let's make sure everybody's on the same page. Our last year's budget is still short. That money didn't come back. It's just for our projected budget that
Exactly.
you presented right before the council.
So we lost $15,000 somewhere.
Right, and business, and there's not an empty business in Webster, where there used to be.
The questions have been
Label is the
asked.
only thing we lost that
Right,
paid, but they,
And now we're losing DD now. That's gonna be a hit.
I'll put it back from-
Another year.
I'll imagine that.
They're not, they're,
But we're still losing them.
Wow.
In the district.
Yeah, I mean, they're busy.
somebody may go in there.
It's a track record. So the questions have been asked by multiple folks on this committee. We're trying to get clarification and we don't have answers.
Moving forward, I would think the automated system will always provide a more accurate number. I would assume we're going to be entering data that will then be distributed to the correct accounts and instead of the old turn in your paper form, now what do you do with this money? So
Yeah, but not moving forward. I think we have the right to ask
what happened?
what happened. I think that is a valid question. That we deserve the answer to, because it's our money.
It's our money. It's important.
Yeah,
So I will continue to try to get an answer on that.
so I'm sorry, because I'm catching up here.
Yeah.
So the question is, the budget was less last year,
The
twenty twenty-four.
actual was less.
The actual.
And we were asking, how did it go down so much with businesses doing better and with all the storefronts full? It didn't make sense. We asked for an audit of sales tax or business tax license information to make sure some of it didn't get put into the wrong account, maybe it got put into Old Orchard's account or some other account in the city. And Eric said that he was gonna do an audit of it. And then the next thing I heard is he's adding it back into the budget proposal, which means he's confident it will come back. And my question is, where did it go?
Where was it?
And this is on the revenue side, the license collections, so.
So business license.
Business license fees
And-
specific to this,
And sales tax or just business?
What's
license?
this business license.
But it's based on sales, and you can do an audit based on
Right.
sales
Compare
tax
sales tax.
information.
And it dropped from like 40,000 to 25,000 in a year, which to all of us didn't make any sense when you looked at the trends previously. So if you'll compare the last few years, it was an obvious
error.
it seemed like an
Anomaly.
error, yeah.
No,
And then I guess we were gonna go in front of council, and ask council to help, if they could help. Because we are losing bleeding money now all of a sudden yearly, and we were asked council if they would
Do some
help
cost
fund
sharing.
Fran's, our part for Fran. We've always funded Fran, but all of a sudden our next thing to cut out is our pots and plants in the beautification of our district, because we have to have streetlights. We have to pay for the parking decks that we have. There's certain things, there's not so much we can cut, and plants are the next thing. Our plants have already been cut tremendously because of the cost of employees and labor and products, everything. So that's understandable, and regrettable, but you can probably go back look at old pictures of our district through certain websites, and you'll see just giant, everything bangs and pops, and it's just gotten down. And then when Dave was right before he was about to go talk to them, city council about, hey, can you help us? That's when he said, oh, that's not necessary anymore. We have this extra money. We found it.
And that was also when we asked about adding charge to the businesses who are benefiting from the beautification in the city, but that do not have to pay for a business license. If they paid a fee of $25 or something to contribute to those expenses because they equally benefit.
Professionals like accountants and.
Especially accountants.
Especially Dave's willing to pay too. We just-
Yeah, he brought it up.
Even though I'm willing to-
I did pay my first year. The second year I paid, they returned the check. So I asked for the first year's check back and I was hosting.
Sorry.
Thank you for the clarity of it, so I understand better now.
Any clarity on next year's collections will be.
Yes, I got you.
Right. But because of that, we did start the discussion about the license surcharge. I will try to talk to Eric and see if I can get clarity on the city regs, if that's doable. I think he indicated yes, but I didn't get a clear answer. So it's definitive. And then beyond that, if it's doable, if we don't have to change any, do any vote, put anything on the ballot, then we just have to identify how many businesses this might be applicable for. I'll take it from there. I'll talk to. Anything else on the business license surcharges? Summer night street dance feedback. They went awesome again this year. Special thanks to Joe and Dan for really doing pretty much all the heavy lifting. Love being in charge of something where I don't have to do it, so that's great. But those two guys actually said they want to step back, so we're looking for volunteers and supports to help that happen next year. So I think it's a great event for the city. Relatively low cost in the grand scheme of things. The cost did come in higher than planned because of I think the big thing was the generator, right?
Yeah, and if you look back at the years, I think we started doing this for about $1,200. You know, it's now somewhere near $5,000 to $6,000 to do it. So I would propose in the future finding ways to get sponsors for it. You know, we put everybody's logo on the stage, which is cool, but it really, you know, no one logo stands out. Whereas if you found a couple sponsors, maybe a food sponsor, a beverage sponsor, and you made it so that they funded most of the event, you could put their two logos up there, saying the Webster Trade Association Taxing District, as well as these individuals, these companies have sponsored this. Because I think it's not sustainable. The money, it's gonna continue.
It's not.
Are you opposed to the date changing on it?
Why?
Well, because if we combined it with Oktoberfest, it's supposed to be a band driven event. Then that's,
It's up to you guys. I mean, that's.
Something, I think something to consider going forward. We don't need to decide it today, just
right,
let it sit in your head is, we talked about this. The night of the dance festival is Jazz Fest is a pretty sizable event. It's a 1 day, 2 bands, I mean, 2 stages, pretty healthy event. But for the cost of what we put on the summer street dance, we could theoretically have 4 or 5 nights throughout the summer at a similar scale. So
You take Jazz Fest.
take the Jazz Fest resources and then split it up into 4 or 5 nights throughout the summer. And then we get more coverage throughout the year at more modest events. But
You could probably get funding for the Missouri Arts Council too, for all those events and as an umbrella for say the concert series in Old Webster or evening dance series or whatever you call it. You could get money from the state that would help fund all of those, as long as they're free and they provide artistic works, music or art, that's what they fund.
have any of you reached out to Dave Buck,
About,
possibly being involved in this at all?
I think he's moving and he's discussing about handing off his current events to people.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
So
this was just
Yeah.
just a discussion phase. It's nothing, there's
Did we have
nothing
no
that's serious.
generator?
I'm sorry.
I thought there was one on the stage.
It wasn't adequate for the sound system. You know, The sound people determine what their requirements are. The sound person came with the band.
We'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll discuss
street dance.
options for
Street
that.
dancing.
And wait, can I just recommend or suggest something also? We'll ask the question. So right now it's just put on by the taxing district. Would you guys be opposed to bringing it to the trade association?
The street fest,
Mhm.
yeah, not at all. Fine.
No, the more people to
Yeah,
help
I
put it
think
on,
if
the
you were,
better.
if you presented it at the trade association, you might get some like
Mhm.
bites maybe. I mean, just a thought, you don't think so? I think it's more open than it is here.
I agree with that.
Depends on what meeting you come to,
Okay,
you know what I mean? I mean,
I don't.
sometimes there's only a couple people there, sometimes it's a full house.
I think if you sent out the email suggesting or whatever, we can talk about it later, but then it just said like event discussion so that. Then it would get people there because it would be like, oh, I need to be there because I want to talk about X, Y, Z.
Good drive.
So bottom line, it was a successful event, but we will be looking at some ways to help offset the costs
Mhm.
in future years. Slight discussion about modifying Jazz Fest to be a simple format, but that's
I agree
it's
with
not
that.
this year. Any other comments? Hopefully we all got a chance to get out. I think it's good for businesses for sure,
It's great.
and the communities.
Yeah, then, and I noticed the next week, Stacy, you might see it, Tim, that there's people walking in the area the next week with their friends. Maybe it's a group of ladies who come back and they think, well, let's come back here next week and walk these shops.
Sure.
They don't necessarily come in the shops that night,
Right.
but they're back that next week or 2 weeks afterwards to look in, to explore what they saw from the outside. So it's incredibly helpful to have those sort of events which bring people back.
It's awesome for the city.
How were the restaurants that night? Were you guys super busy from it?
Restaurants were okay.
Okay,
This group. Like, people brought their lawn chairs, they camped out and they sat. Like, last year, I think there's more people. And so like, there's more people like ordering food and stuff from the booths last year. I was also not as hot last year. There's probably 25% less revenue brought in by the booths.
You're combined.
Yeah, combined. Madrina was busy with regular business, and had like bar business from people coming in to eat before they went to the event. But I know O&O Pizza had tons of to-go pizzas. Ardmore was busy, people coming before the event. Crazy.
I did notice when I went up to get beer and food from you guys and it wasn't long lines at all.
Right,
Where
like,
the previous
last
year
the
there was,
pictures, like,
you were waiting forever.
There's people all the way back to the alley,
Right.
and this year it was like probably right in front of your shoe. So there was like probably 600 people. And we also had Digital Strike was doing a giant event down in Blue Orchard.
Yeah.
Which,
They've taken away some,
somebody said they had a Beatles tribute band, and
right? It's
They
all
had-
day Beatles.
And it was downtown Kirkwood was the car.
Yeah, there was car and guitar.
Yeah.
but that usually falls on the same weekend.
Yeah,
The
but-
pickle thing or the
Cornhole.
was
Yeah.
new
Mhm.
and they had bands also as
They had a
well.
band.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we reach out and just make sure we don't accidentally do the same date. Maybe we reach out and ask nicely to make sure we don't do the same date.
We can get into more planning
Yeah.
as the year progresses.
Okay.
But bottom line, awesome event.
Mhm.
Do what we can to keep this going. Very good. Appreciate everything Dan and Joe have done over the years, and we'll try to do it.
You guys do a great job.
New business?
I've got some. So, I'll hand these out. I listed some maintenance work that's required. You guys, we'll share. Had this for May, but we didn't have a meeting in May. I've been noticing a trend in the entire city of Webster Groves where it's becoming less kept looking. And I think it starts, you'll see in the back page, I think it starts with No Mow April, where it encourages people to not keep their yards up. And that image of unkeptness and lack of cleanliness, I think impacts our business district. That's why we're here, is for our business district. I think the fact that they're not killing the weeds, they're not blowing trash or picking up. If you look at the.
Oh, I know, I've called a couple times on our grade,
Look
so I
at
get
that
it.
park, that's the
Yeah.
permanent parking right here. Behind,
Yes, ma'am.
near US Bank. It's actually behind, hair salon. Look at that. I mean,
It's
that's incredible to me.
embarrassing.
That's incredible. That's okay, that the city finds that that's okay. This area over here, this is West Cedar and North Gore, looking up the hill towards like San Jose. This is all unkept, and I know part of that's Union Pacific property. But who benefits from maintaining that? Union Pacific or Webster? They're never gonna get Union Pacific to maintain that.
You can't, that's trespassing.
Let them come after the city for maintaining that property.
They have in the
They
past.
can. The railroad does not adhere to.
It's not an excuse for
No,
leaving the city.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's an
Looking this way.
excuse, I'm not, and I'm looking at, because so Public Works falls under me and certain things I definitely can, I don't know, if there's a question of why 300 expenditure has to be approved by Eric, I don't know, I can find these things out, I'm only 6 weeks old,
Yeah,
but.
you're
Railroad-
gonna help.
Yeah.
But the railroad. horrible.
Well,
And it is
The
considered
city-
trespassing.
it always
They do
has
not
been.
give
the
us.
city needs to do
permission.
something about this
I'm
because
curious.
West Cedar looks horrible.
I'm curious what used to happen, because I will tell you, when
West-
Jerry was involved, there was less of this issue, and so I would like to know what is the difference, like. What, I'd like to maybe get some answers from Mara, because Mara did a lot of this prior. Maybe we can ask. What communication was happening before that's no longer happening, because this is different than what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah. And so this work is not getting done. There's not proactive work in our district. It's reactive to us calling and then something gets done. It needs to be proactive because we have our businesses to run. And the city has a responsibility to maintain our properties. That's the public portion around our properties. Then if you go to the next page, this shows the weeds, which our tree grades should be weed free. And why we're not doing that on a monthly basis, I don't understand. There are 16 streetlights that are not working at their operating capacities. Our city looks dark at night, and that's uninviting. And so I've listed out, I went and listed everyone and what's wrong with it. There are trees blocking our streetlights that need to be trimmed back so the lights can illuminate the sidewalks and the streets. There's concrete work in front of 35 North Gore. There's a new piece down here that was put in the wrong color down here across from Dewey's. There's an area of concrete that's, they put a new telephone pole in. The city needs to call the telephone company and tell them to put that concrete back in. I can't do that. It's the city that needs to do that. I called for concrete parking bumper. And I talked to Frank Henning, who's a great guy in the streets department. Frank says he can't do anything without Eric's approval. Now there's something wrong. It's $300. Why does Eric have to be involved in a $300 decision? Okay, so, overall, I just wanted to say that I think the city is not maintaining all of Webster Groves as well as it should. The No Mow April, I think, just sets this low standard in the beginning of the growing season, and weeds are proliferating because of that. And then there's no herbicide put down to kill the weeds. Things just look bad. We have some of the most expensive property in the county. We have some of the best restaurants that people come from all over in the county who are not inexpensive to eat at. And I don't think that we portray a good image by not upkeeping. So that is my wish is that this board and other, as you are in your property and your business ownership, stay on the city to do things because they do respond if you call, but unfortunately, they don't do it until you call. Anybody have any comments?
I would like to say something. I wish she would stay for at least another year. And because this is like a mic drop. It would be helpful to have you on board for at least one more year.
Even if you can't come. to the
Yeah,
meetings.
even if you can't come, but having that voice at this table is so important.
Thank you for.
There's
wanting me.
there's so many little minute things that are very concerning. This sounds so stupid, but as we sit here, it's alarming to me. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but that bridge has been stopped every day for the past however long. What is happening at City Hall? This is scary.
Mhm.
Something is happening.
Thank you for your support.
So I would love for you to.
Thank you for those comments, Dan.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So, following that, just reiterate what Dan says, make sure you're talking to the council members, the mayor, sharing your concerns. Continue to make and keep Webster great.
Mhm.
Thank you. Other comments? Any business?
With this, can we just use, he has a point. Can we write a letter? Can we present this to somebody, you guys?
We just did.
You know, but somebody need to go and like write a letter to help you or like,
I don't, okay,
Yeah.
not being crass.
yeah,
I don't need a letter.
okay,
This is, thank you.
yeah, okay, okay,
Okay, we need a plan.
yeah.
And I'm not, I hear everything you're saying and I have walked the streets, I've seen the weeds and the grades, I've asked questions now to the defense of, and this is not an excuse, as you guys do know, extremely short staffed. Extremely short staffed. So one of the questions that I have actually put out between Public Works and Parks, because some of this is Public Works, some of this is Parks, is we need to collaborate because this is a case in point. Citizens do not care, they don't want to hear it, they want their things maintained properly, and we have in right, okay? But one of the things that needs to be placed in the insurance, it's very helpful, you need to have a plan, and not a reactive plan, but a proactive plan. And I think that if you all see more action, and it looks and feels like you're making a better effort to do and keep Webster in its rightful place, I think there will be a lot less angst. I get it. I do. I'm not saying well smoke with anybody. I get it. So I can start because this is great. This is an excellent outline for downtown. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
There's more by 11.
Well, what can we do to help is my question. I mean, this is awesome, but Dan did this on his own. This is not necessarily
So
coming from the
The
board, the
committee.
committee,
Yeah.
and so.
We can all vote or whatever, we can all say it came, everybody agrees.
Yeah, that's what should we be saying that like,
Right.
this, we're presenting this to you and we are not okay with this.
no, and that's fine. I
Yeah.
think that with citizens, one of the things everywhere I've ever worked, I always tell people, we need your eyes. And not from a reactive state, just we need your eyes because there are things that you're gonna see. And unfortunately, people drive by and they don't see it. It's a blind spot. So saying or calling or emailing, we have this going on, we need somebody to come out here. Even if we need to, from the city's perspective, do more checking, ride-bys, whatever you want to call it. And again, these are things that I don't know if they've been done before, but again, we're very short staffed. So I've just really been trying to figure out how to better collaborate with these other departments to address these things. So.
Yeah, no,
And that's why
yeah.
Eric is, I guess, spread too thin, is why. You know, and so hopefully, that will, you know.
But if you see something, sound like, if you see something, I don't have cars, but yet, but I'm sure you all know how to find them.
So again, this is really, this is good, you get the feedback when you see it. Stephanie, if you feel so compelled to put something yourself, we as a commission We should message out. I don't think anyone disagrees with Dan's point of view. But I think where Dan's going, just have to keep pressing for this is culture of excellence at the city level. So that we shouldn't have to bring this stuff out. We will, or we shouldn't have to.
Has anybody
And that's what we
noticed,
love
has
to do.
anybody noticed over by the Connie and Burr ring shop, is that, so that originally was done, of course, it didn't look good. Then they came back in and put some more natural plants and it looked a lot better. Has anybody looked at it recently? Is it still like, looks like, I thought it looked better, you know,
Yeah, I
still
thought
natural.
fine, I thought to myself, well, okay.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, so I,
Yeah.
you know, I think some of the same stuff can be done with this stuff. I mean, literally, you could buy some seeds in the spring and just wildflower seeds. Or, you know, and not.
Well, I think that's what has happened
Those
here.
are, those are thistles, those are thorns.
Oh.
Those, while they're pretty
They-
purple little top
Right.
things,
Oh,
they have
okay.
giant thorns all over them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're,
That's.
Yeah,
what
not
this
very
is.
welcoming.
right.
What is the
Same thing.
business that you referenced that just now, that,
Oh, McConaughey and Bird, so on the parking deck, right in the entrance of the parking deck, there was we had some giant pots and benches set out there. The city, big debacle, but they tore up the concrete and then they put dirt there and they got a grant from MSD to do it. It wasn't done exactly how we thought it was gonna be done, but that's gone now. But they planted some wildflowers or stuff that wouldn't need a lot of maintenance that would survive today. But at first it looked like really bad. I mean, it looked like that
Weeds,
picture right
yeah.
there. I mean, it'd be just horrible. But then Parks, I believe, came in and redid it. And with some natural grasses and, you know, colorful grasses and stuff, and it looks much better. I have to say, I haven't paid attention to it, just like you said, where you drive by it 100 times a week and you just don't think it to look anymore. It's just the, and so that's what happens. And I haven't paid attention to it since probably last fall when I thought it looked better again.
It does look good.
Okay, good. It's, so I do think that as we go forward, it not to, I think NOMO April is not NOMO May, it's not NOMO May, June, you know.
Yeah,
and-
June for
November.
the city to save money.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
my house
supposed to be for a
personally,
purpose.
I did mow in April, but I mowed a week after I should have, in my opinion, you know, because I had clovers growing and honeybees all over. But to a point, I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna be bailing this stuff if I don't get on top of it. You know, so I think we have to take each side a little bit and really make it beautiful, but it still could also be natural too, in a way that's good for the environment, but also good for how it looks. So but it will require a little bit more work than just letting it go to the thistles. So,
Yeah, I just think that we are trying to do the city is trying to do way too much right now.
Well-
And it is really showing.
well, they don't have enough people, just.
Well,
it's no
they're
different than my
doing a
business.
SIG,
My
they're
business
doing a
is the
SIG.
same way.
They're doing that blue dot. I mean, this is just stuff that we're involved in. I mean, I'm going to a BDC meeting on Thursday that is all about, they're bringing a lawyer in to talk about the SIG. It's like, wait a second, we can't even get Eric to show up to this meeting. Like, what are we doing? It's too much.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah, everybody's spread thin and you guys know more at the Blue Dot than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in here and talked great about it, and I'm not trying to say it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't what it was expected. You know what I'm saying? It got tried to get implemented, I believe, and then it's just like, oh, we can't do that because this will be sharing public information with other, you know. And I believe that's what was said last meeting.
I don't know. I was not at the last
Fran-
meeting. That was at the
Fran was,
BDC
yeah.
meeting. I missed the last one. It was
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so anyway, and I understand, you know, if you're sold or you're purchasing a product, yeah, this will all work by a salesman, and then you get like. well,
Yeah, but that was in the BDC. That was,
I-
no, but I just want to
whoever
explain
it
this
is.
because this is alarming to me and nobody is talking about it. That we went to Eric to talk about a QR code. They could have a landing page for businesses. Eric took that out of our hands and was like, well, I'm doing this blue dot. We started talking about the blue dot, talking about maybe putting money into the blue dot. Okay, that's just the blue dot. This keeps happening.
Right.
Everything that we bring to the table has been removed from us And we no longer have a say in it. And it's very frustrating and it is getting more and more, and it's gonna keep growing until it's out of control. And
I
it seems like
totally
it's
agree
like
why-
now is the time to make sure that it doesn't get more out of control.
I can't speak for Eric, 'cause he's not here, but I believe he does try to help, but also I think that he didn't try to take it out of the hand. I just think that he saw is a doubling of work. Like, you guys are working on this, I'm working on this is the same thing, it's gonna have the same result.
Right.
And that's why I believe that's what happened. No, I can't say that, but it didn't. You know, in the end, it was wrong, so.
But that's with a lot of things. It's not just the rate dot. Okay. It's with a lot. I mean, the maintenance.
So the upside is the city's adding resources.
Yeah, but we're also losing them very rapidly. We lost 5 police officers. This is alarming. Just saying, and we have to start asking the whys. Where is Eric and why is he not at this meeting? Okay, that's alarming to me.
Well, he's not gonna be at the meetings anymore.
No.
No, he's,
No,
it's a
no,
transition
no,
period.
it's a transition.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to be here the next 6 months.
Oh, okay, got it, okay,
He's
all right,
not-
no.
listening to
Okay,
that.
okay, got it.
He's transitioning until, December, January, because there's a lot to learn.
Okay.
And I'm not going, I ask
Yeah.
questions, I'm trying to understand, and I'm very humble with it. And I want to earn your trust
Mhm.
as well, so, you know, and if I don't know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, I'm put it online, yes. But
And this is just one department. I mean, the building department is losing their people. We are losing a lot of people because there's a lot of change behind the scenes. It's not working. We don't have our business license stuff.
It's crazy.
And it's
That's
past
crazy.
the middle of the year. This is alarming. This is not like, oh, just, this is not you. I'm so sorry if this
Yeah.
feels like it's you, because you're new and
Yeah, you had nothing to do with
no,
that.
you had nothing to do with this. This is out of control. That's all I have to say. Okay.
Appreciate those comments. Share them with your council.
Yeah.
Guess we don't have a city update.
No city update before we get in that BDC update.
Just have time of the city, it's in business coffee, which is September
18th.
18th.
Is the BDC meetings open to the public?
Yes,
And where are they?
Right here
Here.
Here?
on
Yeah.
Thursday.
on Thursday of the month,
What time?
8 o'clock.
except this month it's a closed meeting.
Because we're meeting with the
Oh.
lawyer.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what the lawyer was saying, but.
Join the commission.
With your 2
Yeah,
restaurants
but
and all the other
you-
stuff.
You have to interview for the BBC commission. So do it.
Interview for all of them.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I don't remember interviewing for this one. Okay.
I do.
It's not the hardest interview in the world.
No, it's not.
Submit a resume, application.
You got a pulse, you're in.
This guy here.
I don't remember that 15 years ago, but or 10 or whatever, as long as I'm on it. I definitely didn't go in front of City Hall for it.
I
Like
did.
for the BBC. I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't, I don't think I
You
had.
have to.
Yeah,
No, I did not. I'm
it's
telling
kind of an
you.
intimidating process when you read
I
it.
did not.
So moving forward, trying to find people to come on board, it's like, what?
I don't think I heard it for BDC.
I did. I interviewed for BBC, but I did not for taxing.
Yeah, you were on taxing way before BDC.
Mhm.
BDC wasn't even around.
Eric not here. I think we'll forego the city update unless
Is,
special.
do we have a city
Councilmember
council
Smith,
member on
I
that?
don't believe he's on.
I think, and I think that switches.
Who's that
there's
one?
one on me.
That's Joe.
Yes,
It's not a commission.
yeah, I understand we are gonna get a new council person. I don't know what that process is. Our next meeting is scheduled for
So
July.
Emerson's not gonna be here?
I think they rotate.
Oh,
They rotate.
Mhm.
I don't know who's.
No.
Assigned to us yet.
So we will find out. Next meeting is scheduled for July 23rd.
I will not be here. for that meeting.
I will not either.
Well, we have.
Dan will be
Well, we
here.
have. And you're not off a, is that?
That's everybody, right? There's nobody missing.
There is nobody missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have four. Frank, can we cancel
Or reschedule.
the July meeting? Reschedule? Are we allowed to
Without
cancel?
Dan and Ron and Stacy, everybody else would have to come.
So without Dan, the council's smaller, so we need four for quorum, is that correct?
Maybe.
With all of the conversation that took place today, I would actually ask of you to cancel that meeting so we don't miss. And,
The ongoing.
and I don't think it's uncommon to cancel the July meeting either.
Yeah, most
Mhm.
of them.
Family holidays.
We've done,
vacations and
yeah.
stuff, Okay. If there's no prohibition to cancel it, I'll entertain a motion to cancel the July meeting.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second,
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We will cancel the July meeting. So the next meeting is August sometime. Watch for the update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
We're happy to have you.
Meeting adjourned.
No, there's a lot of change and it's concerning.